My name is Dr. Kellen Grayson, and my role is the clinical director of the Golden Gate Integral Counseling Clinic at CIIS. So who we serve is the greater San Francisco Bay Area. Sometimes that's within the San Francisco limits, sometimes that's without, but definitely within California. Most of our um, clients are coming from the San Francisco area. And so we see individual couples, family, and adult and children. We have a wide range of who we serve because San Francisco is eclectic. And we serve anywhere from clients who are young, transitional age youth, 18 to 25. We serve teens. We serve younger children as well. But for the most part, we see adults that have a middle range of age, but we have clients all the way up to 70 years old and beyond. So in terms of what types of things that they might be dealing with are typical that you would see in therapy: life transitions, work stress, family stress, COVID stress, burnout, and a variety of other issues. In terms of who's eligible, eligibility is for students who are ready for practicum, that completed their academic requirements and that they're ready to apply. And so in terms of the type of student we tend to take students who are pretty grounded, focused on empathy and compassion, and open to learn. So those are usually our requirements. Typical duties are going to be assessment, intakes, doing the phone shift, which means calling patients and inquiring about, responding about their inquiries. We have community jobs that students do, which gives back to our community. Right now, since that's online, those typically look like online duties. So cleaning up spreadsheets, keeping track of manuals, returning calls, sometimes giving trainings, etc. But for the most part, our focus is on serving the patients. So students are required to see individuals, families, and couples when they're available. So most people have a caseload of individuals with maybe one couple, one child on a minimum, and some end up having more. But for the most part, we try to mix up the caseload. And so the duties are going to be anything that's required from a student in a practicum site, which is attending groups, supervision, attending individual supervision, completing your notes, serving the patients, and all the things that come under those umbrellas. Clients can reach out to us via telephone or email inquiry. And then we have certain phone shifts available that students are assigned to. So during that phone shift, they'll reach out to those inquiries and see if they can schedule a brief assessment. In terms of how they access us, that really depends. We have certain contracts and connections with local schools, including the Music Institute. And we have things related to local companies. And we also are online. So we get people referring to us. We get former trainees and supervisors referring clients. We get professors referring clients. So we just get a variety of referral resources to us. And then once we get them in, we get them set up and scheduled with a student trainee to get started on doing therapeutic work. A typical caseload is going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 patients. We follow the guidelines of the BBS, the Board of Behavioral Sciences, which really doesn't allow for more than 10 without additional supervision units. So the maximum amount is going to be 10, and the minimum amount is at least 5, but we try to get people closer to 10 due to the no-show rate. So we have a no-show rate of about 20%, sometimes it's up to 30. That way, we know that clients are gonna, probably 2 of their clients are gonna cancel each week at least on average. So it gives them enough hours to collect to graduate so that they don't have to worry at the end of practicum, do I need additional semester hours? Am I gonna be able to graduate? In terms of what the caseload looks like, that really depends. I always like to say that it depends on the universe. I can do all the signing that I want, but clients are end up going to find people, providers that they need, and then it's going to challenge and help the clinician in whatever ways they need to, because that's just typically how it works. Supervision is, again, in alignment with the Board of Behavioral Sciences, in which we provide group supervision, and we have the option of, we have a list of supervisors that CIIS provides that are fully vetted individual supervisors that clinicians can choose from. And so the groups are scheduled so that we do those on Wednesdays. All of the ICP clinics train on Wednesdays. So they have their groups Wednesday mornings, they have training, they have countertransference group, etc. All that is on a Wednesday day. So the structure is, you can assign clients on other days, even Wednesday night, but for the most part, the only required day is Wednesday day. So supervision is structured around that day. Our didactics are from outside providers who are licensed practitioners. We also have the interns that have graduated that stayed with us that do some trainings as well. Typical topics are going to be anywhere from setting the framework to how to work with couples, how to work with EMDR techniques, DBT techniques. So different theoretical models, different therapeutic approaches, and then also different topics. So eating disorders, mood disorders, then we have some transpersonal trainings, working with crystals, holistic medicines, how to do self-meditation, etc. So it really varies based on sort of the intern and the outside provider's interests. But we give them at least the basics, which is treatment planning, note taking, how to capture billing, etc., how to create a framework with the client, and then the more sort of looser trainings that are more eclectic and interesting, related to how to relate to clients and how to integrate different modalities in practice. Trainees are successful the majority of the time. I never really have to deal with trainees who are not very successful. What creates a success is that as long as people are coming in with the capacity to empathize with others, we at Golden Gate feel that we can train students to do anything else. But what we can't do is teach someone to care about another human. So as long as people are coming in with the capacity to feel what another person's pain is, we will ensure that trainees will be successful. If you look at it like it's a class, which it is technically, and you're just, adhering to the basic requirements of that class, which would be for us serving the patients, making sure you're taking detailed notes, making sure you're evaluating your client's process and progress along with your own, and being open to learning in group supervisions and individual supervision, you'll be quite successful. What's challenging is what is typically challenging during that first year, which is a lot of anxiety about, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm about to have clients in front of me, and what am I doing? And am I going to do harm? And who am I to be giving service? So, and that ranges based on the person. Sometimes you might get the rare intern who thinks, oh, I've got this down. And then they find out how complicated it is. And then you've got the trainees who are like, I have no idea. And then, of course, prove themselves to be quite successful at doing therapy. So it really ranges, but it's usually starting with just what am I doing? And how am I going to remember all the things I learned at CIIS to take with me? And the truth is, yes, it starts to come together. And once they have one or two meetings with clients, it starts to feel a lot more grounded and a lot more like they understand what the process is. So I think those are difficult. Some of the more practical, difficult things are like, what's my schedule going to be? How can I do practicum, work, go to school, take care of family, etc., have a personal life? And the truth is that compared to other practicum sites, we have the most flexibility with time, because of Wednesday is the only mandatory day. You really do have 6 other days, even the weekend, to schedule clients. A lot of other practical sites that are outside of CIIS require 2 to 3 days of training, and they're mandatory. And so it gets a lot more complicated. So I think the practical things around how to do it, schedule, and sometimes like, who am I in a group of people? Am I safe? Is my material that I bring in going to be honored and respected, and etc. So we do our best at making sure that everyone's voice matters and that they have respect from their colleagues, and we really teach professionalism. So we try to really counteract some of those negative feelings that first arise when you're first doing therapy. I think that the sites are important to get training, but I think all of the ICP sites give excellent training, and that no matter what site you end up at, you're going to end up getting trained pretty well, and it's going to be within the modality of what we teach here at CIIS. And so I think it's best to follow your intuition around what works best for you. So that's my advice.